ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friend. This is video number 41. This video starts with talk number 525. Another visitor asked, actions are boundaries. One cannot remain without some kind of activity. So, boundaries goes on increasing. What is one to do under the circumstances? Maharshi replies, one should act in such a manner that the boundaries is not strengthened but get weakened, that is, selfless action. 3rd October 1938, talk number 526. A visitor asked Sri Bhagwan, people give some names to God and say that the name is sacred and repetitions of the name bestow merit on the individual. Can it be true? Maharshi, why not? You bear a name to which you answer, but your body was not born with that name written on it, nor did it say to anyone that it bore such and such a name. And yet a name is given to you, and you answer to that name because you have identified yourself with the name. Therefore, the name signifies something and it is not a mere fiction. Similarly, God's name is effective. Repetition of the name is remembrance of what it signifies, hence its merit. But the man did not look satisfied. Finally, he wanted to retire and prayed for Sri Bhagwan's grace. Sri Bhagwan now asked how mere sounds assuring him of grace would satisfy him unless he had faith. Both laughed and the visitor retired. 4th October 1938, talk number 527. A group of respectable Kurd ladies was in the hall. One of them asked, I have received a mantra. People frighten me, saying that it may have unforeseen results if repeated. It is only Varnava, so I seek advice. May I repeat it? I have considerable faith in it. Maharshi, certainly it should be repeated with faith. Devotee, will it do by itself, or can you kindly give me any further instructions? Maharshi, the object of mantra japa is to realize that the same japa is already going on in oneself even without effort. The oral japa becomes mental, and the mental japa finally reveals itself as being eternal. That mantra is the person's real nature. That is also the state of realization. Devotee, can the bliss of samadhi be gained thus? Maharshi, the japa becomes mental and finally reveals itself as the self. That is samadhi. Devotee, please show grace to me and strengthen me in my efforts. 13th October 1938, talk number 528. A middle-aged Andhra man asked, is thought of God necessary for fixing one's sight or making the mind one-pointed? Maharshi, what is the practice? Devotee, to fix the look. Maharshi, what for? Devotee to gain concentration. Maharshi, the practice gives work for the eye right enough, but where is the work for the mind in the process? Devotee, what should I do for it? Maharshi, thought of God, certainly. Devotee, does the practice make one ill? Maharshi, maybe, but all will be rightly adjusted of its own accord. Devotee, I practiced dhyana for 4 hours a day and fixation of sight for 2 hours. I became ill. Then others said that it was owing to my practice, so I gave up dhyana. Maharshi, methods will adjust themselves. Devotee, is it not better that the gaze of the eye becomes fixed naturally? Maharshi, what do you mean? Devotee, is practice necessary to fix the gaze, or is it better to leave it to happen of its own accord? Maharshi, what is practice if it is not an attempt to make something natural? It will become natural after long practice. Devotee, is pranayama necessary? Maharshi, yes, it is useful. Devotee, I did not practice it, but should I undertake it? Maharshi, everything will be alright with sufficient strength of mind. Devotee, how shall I get the strength of mind? Maharshi, by pranayama. Devotee, is food re-regulation also necessary? Maharshi, it is certainly useful. Devotee, should my contemplation be on the infinite or the limited being? Maharshi, what do you mean? Devotee, may I contemplate on Sri Krishna or Sri Rama alternately? Maharshi, Bhavana implies khanda, that is division. 15th October 1938, talk number 529. In the course of conversation, Sri Bhagavan said that Thiru Jnanasabandhar had sung in praise of Sri Arunachala. He also mentioned the story briefly as follows. Jnanasabandhar was born in an Orthodox family about 1500 years ago. When he was 3 years old, his father took him to the temple in Shiali. He left the boy on the bank of the sacred tank and went in to bathe. He dipped in the water. The boy, not finding his father, began to cry out. Immediately Shiva and Parvati appeared in a vimana. Shiva told Parvati to feed the boy with her milk. So she drew out milk in a cup and handed it to the boy. He drank it and was happy. The father, as he came out of the water, saw the boy smiling and with streaks of milk round his lips. So he asked the boy what happened to him. The boy did not answer. He was threatened and the boy sang songs. They were hymns in praise of Shiva who appeared before him. He sang, "The one with earrings, the robber who robbed me of my mind." He thus became one of the most famous bhaktas and was much sought after. He led a vigorous and active life, went on pilgrimage to several places in South India. He got married in his 16th year. The bride and the bridegroom went to have darshan of God in the local temple. Soon after the marriage ceremonies were over, a large party went with them. When they reached the temple, the place was a blaze of light and the temple was not visible. There was, however, a passage visible in the blaze of light. Jnana Sambandar told the people to enter the passage. They did so. He himself went round the light with his young wife, came to the passage and entered it as the others had done earlier. The light vanished, leaving no trace of those who entered it. The temple again came into view as usual. Such was the brief but very eventful life of the sage. In one of his tours, he had come to Aryanenallur or Tirukoilur, 18 miles from Tiruvannamalai. The place is famous for its Shiva temple. It was here that Sri Bhagavan had that vision of light on his way to Tiruvannamalai in his 17th year. Sri Bhagavan did not then know that the place was sanctified by the feet of Thiru Sambandar some 15 centuries ago. When the ancient sage was staying in Aryanellur, an old man who carried a flower basket came to him. The young sage asked the old man who he was. The latter replied that he was a servitor of Sri Arunachala, the god residing as the hill here. Says, how far is it from here? The old man, I walk every day from there to here collecting flowers for daily worship. So it is only near. Say, then I shall go with you to that place. The old man, a rare pleasure indeed for me. They went together with a large crowd following the sage. After walking some distance, the sage wanted to ask how much further the place was, but the old man had disappeared in the meantime. Soon after, a gang of dacoits waylaid the pilgrims, who surrendered all that they had with them. They plodded their way and reached their destination. The young sage fell into contemplation. God appeared and said that the dacoits were only his followers and that his needs would be met. Accordingly, the group of pilgrims found all their wants. The sage had sung hymns in praise of Sri Arunachala. In one of the stanzas, he says, "You are a dense mass of jnana, capable of removing the I am the body idea from your devotees. Herds of gazelle, gazelles of birds of bears came down your slopes in the night to search for food on the plains. Herds of elephants go from the plains to your slopes where they may rest. So different herds of people, animals meet on your slopes." Sri Bhagavan continued, "So this hill must have been a dense forest 1500 years ago. It has since been denuded of the forest by the woodcutters, etc. Through these several centuries." The account of Sri Arunachala given by the mysterious old man to Jnanasambandar is contained in 300 slokas in Upmanyu's Bhagata Charita. One of archakas of the temple had it with him and showed it to Sri Bhagavan on the occasion of the temple shoot within the last few months. Sri Bhagavan copied the slokas. Talk number 530. The following is taken from the diary of Anamlai Swami, a good devotee of Sri Bhagavan and resident of Sri Ramnasramam. The teaching of Sri Ramana Bhagavan. Number 1. The man who is active in the world and yet remains desireless without losing sight of his own essential nature is alone a true man. This was in answer to the Swami who wanted to retire into a cave for practicing meditation. Number 2. He asked about sannyasa. Should not a man renounce everything in order that he might get liberation? Maharshi, even better than the man who thinks I have renounced everything, is the one who does his duty but does not think I do this or I am the doer. Even a sannyasi who thinks I am a sannyasi cannot be a true sannyasi, whereas a householder who does not think I am a householder is truly a sannyasi. Talk number 531. One person says one thing one way, another says the same thing in a different way. How is the truth to be ascertained? Maharshi, each one sees his own self only, always and everywhere. He finds the world and God according to what he is. A Nanar went to Kalahasti for the darshan of God. He saw all the people there as Shiva and Shakti because he himself was so. Again, Brahmaputra considered that the whole world was composed of people having some merit or other and that each of them was even better than he himself for some reason or other. Whereas Duryodhana could not find even a single good person in the world. Each reflects his own nature. Talk number 532. Devotee. Is there no way of escape from the miseries of the world? Maharshi, there is only one way and that consists in not losing sight of one's self under any circumstances. To enquire who am I is the only remedy for all the ills of the world. It is also perfect bliss. Talk number 533. Soon after the announcement in the newspapers that Gandhiji was going to fast for 21 days in Yerwada jail, two young men came to Sri Bhagwan. They were very excited. They said, Mahatma is now fasting for 21 days. We want permission from Sri Bhagwan to run up to Yeroda so that we may also fast as long as he does. Please permit us. We are in a haste to go. Saying so, they made ready to rush out. Sri Bhagwan smiled and said, it is a good sign that you have such feelings, but what can you do now? Get the strength which Gandhiji has already got by his tapasya. You will afterwards succeed. Talk number 534. Sri Bhagwan often used to say, Mona is the utmost eloquence, the peace is utmost activity. How? Because the person remains in his essential nature and so he permeates all the recesses of the self. Thus he can call up any power into play whenever or wherever it is necessary. That is the highest siddhi. Anamlai asked Namdeva, Tukaram, Tulsidas and others are said to have seen Mahavishnu. How did they see him? Maharshi, in what manner? Just in the same manner as you see me now and I see you here. They would also have seen Vishnu in this way only. He records that on hearing it, his hairs stood on end and an intense joy overpowered him. Talk number 535. 35. Once he asked, how can one be worshipped while engaged in daily work? Sri Bhagwan did not reply. 10 minutes passed. A few girls came for darshan of Sri Bhagwan. They began to sing and dance. Their song was to the effect, we will churn the milk without losing thought of Krishna. Sri Bhagwan turned to the Swami and said that there was the reply to his question. This state is called Bhakti, Yoga and Karma. Talk number 537. Once Sri Bhagwan said, desire constitutes Maya and desirelessness is God. Talk number 538. He asked what is the exact difference between worldly activity and dhyana. Maharshi, there is no difference. It is like naming one and the same thing by two different words in two different languages. The crow has two eyes but only one iris which is rolled into either eye as it pleases. The trunk of an elephant is used for breathing and for drinking water. The snake sees and hears with the same organ. Talk number 539. When Sri Bhagwan was going up the hill, the Swami asked, does the closing or the opening of the eyes make any difference during dhyana? Maharshi, if you strike on a wall with a rubber ball and you stand at a distance, the ball rebounds and runs back to you. If you stand near the wall, the ball rebounds and runs away from you. Even if the eyes are closed, the mind follows thoughts. Talk number 540. Once he asked, there is more pleasure in dhyana than in sensual enjoyments, yet the mind runs after the latter and does not seek the former. Why is it so? Maharshi replies, pleasure or pain are aspects of the mind only. Our essential nature is happiness, but we have forgotten the self and imagine that the body or the mind is the self. It is that wrong identity that gives rise to misery. What is to be done? This vasana is very ancient and has continued for innumerable past births. Hence it has grown strong that must go before the essential nature which happiness asserts itself. Talk number 541. A certain visitor asked Sri Bhagwan, there is so much misery in the world because wicked men abound in the world. How can one find happiness here? Maharshi replies, all are gurus to us. The wicked say by their evil deeds, do not come near me. The good are always good, so then all persons are like gurus to us. Talk number 542. He asked, I often desire to live in solitude where I can find all I want with ease so that I may devote all my time to meditation only. Is such a desire good or bad? Maharshi, such thoughts will bestow a Janma, reincarnation for their fulfillment. What does it matter where and how you are placed? The essential point is that the mind must always remain in its source. There is nothing external which is not also internal. The mind is all. If the mind is active, even solitude becomes like a marketplace. There is no use closing your eyes. Close the mental eye and all will be right. The world is not external to you. The good persons will not care to make plans previous to their actions. Why so? For God, who has sent us into the world, has his own plan, and that will certainly work itself out. So this video is completed. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot. Namaskar my dear friends.